What am I thinking? It's different. It's merirus, literally means bitterness. But it means a disappointment, not a depression. It's a different thing. It's that you should be doing so much better, and you're not. That's very different to depression. Depression is wallowing in self-pity. It's saying, oh, I'm the worst, and enjoying. There's a pleasure in wallowing in how low you are, in how miserable you are. Enjoying that. When you enjoy that, that's what depression is. Here it's a disappointment that I should be doing better. I could be doing better. There's more expected of me, and I have the power to be doing more, but to fulfill Hashem's will. It's a totally different thing. Depression is not a feeling. Depression is non-feeling.
So it's like
disappointment is a feeling. You're feeling something.
Dissatisfaction with yourself.
Yeah. Because you're not fulfilling Hashem's will. It's not dissatisfaction. It's the dissatisfaction with yourself because I haven't achieved and I haven't made it. It's that I have a mission that I'm not fulfilling. I can fulfill it. I've been given the power to do it, and I'm not. There's more expected of me. That spurs action. Depression spurs on inertia. When you're depressed, you roll over and you just don't want to get up. You don't want to move. Whereas this is a disappointment in self. That spurs on action. I've got to do something about this. I've got to get moving. So that is what happiness is. Happiness means being on the move. Depression means being inert, not moving, just sinking into yourself. Whereas happiness means being on the move, being alive. This is a very alive feeling. When you feel disappointed in yourself, that's a real feeling. Depression is a non-feeling. Your heart is numb. This is where you're actually feeling something. So the Rebbe's point here is that the maila, the advantage of this feeling is that what you're doing is you're saying that I am the problem. I'm not happy with myself. I'm not where I should be. That sense of bittul opens you up to the essence of Hashem much more than if you go to your deeper self. Because your deeper self is still you. Whereas here it's, no, I'm the issue. I've got to break myself. To understand it better, have a look at note 32 at the bottom of the page. I think this will help clarify what we're talking about here. Lahoyer, the Rebbe says, just to point out, Shegam b'tshuva dugma shnei inyanim eila. Tshuva also has the same aspects as we've just said. Aleph sha'ava v'tzimon lavaya, the Baal Tshuva who yosim mitzadikim. That on the one hand, when somebody does tshuva, so he said that the love that a Baal Tshuva has for Hashem is greater than a tzaddik has. The thirst, the yearning that a Baal Tshuva has, somebody who has sinned, who's gone off the path and returns, that yearning is deeper than the yearning that a tzaddik has for Hashem. Why?
Because he's felt the lack.
Right, the tzaddik has Hashem close and has always been close, and so there's not such a draw, a thirst, a yearning for Hashem. Whereas somebody who has had the lack and realized that what that awakens in you is a deeper level of connection and love. Or in other words, the tzaddik's relationship with Hashem is through koiches agiluyim, his revealed personality. He loves Hashem with his heart. The Baal Tshuva loves Hashem with what? His heart has gone the wrong way. His mind is completely confused. So what does he love with his ratzon? He wants to connect to Hashem on a deeper level. He wants to go beyond and break. But that's his soul. That's his soul wanting to connect to Hashem. That's the first level. But deeper than that is base. Shenasa nivz be'inav nimas. Mois b'chayev. That a Baal Tshuva is disappointed in themselves. Looks at their life and says, I can't believe this is what I've amounted to. I can't believe that I've gone so far. This is what life's all about. This is where I'm supposed to be at this stage of my life. Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. They're disappointed in themselves. And through that, they draw down the love of Atik. Atik meaning that level that is totally beyond. That's what it says in Chassidus. Why? Because rather than asserting yourself, you break yourself. rather than revealing a deeper level of self, you negate yourself as being, I'm the problem, not the solution. By doing that, you make total room for Hashem. And that draws down a greater light, a higher light. See, we're so scared of this. Because we've been convinced that we have to build up our self-esteem more than anything else. And self-esteem means telling yourself that you're fine, you're good, you're not so bad. This is true, and sometimes that is the avodah. But here, this is a much deeper self-esteem. Self-esteem means that I have value, I have worth, I have ability. I have somewhere that I'm expected to be. There's something expected of me. That's what self-esteem really means. Self-esteem doesn't mean that I have done a lot, I've achieved a lot. It's that I can achieve a lot. Like there's so much that I could be. And if you're not that, and you're disappointed that you're not that, so then you're calling yourself to go higher. And that draws down a much higher light.
Where does the breaking come into it? You say like it's a breaking of the self. What does that mean? I don't understand.
It means that until now you're comfortable.
And saying that, okay.
No, it's more than that. It's more than that. When you're disappointed in yourself, what it means is that until now you were comfortable and complacent and satisfied with where you were. Now you say, I'm not satisfied. This is not enough. There's more that I could do. And that dissatisfaction is shattering the self. You know, we've built a very comfortable view of ourselves as that we're just fine as we are. That we really don't need to change. We don't need to be doing any more than we're doing. It's good where we are. It's fine. Don't rock the boat. Don't shake it. Everything's where it's supposed to be. This is saying when you contemplate that, no, I could be more than this. More is expected of me. I'm not living up to everything I could be. That's shattering that complacency. That shattering is a vessel, is an opening for a higher light. And as long as you are stuck in where you are, you're never going to move to the next level because you're satisfied. When you're dissatisfied, that opens yourself up to like a whole new level. But you have to break down what you are to go to the next thing.
And how do you do that? By pushing through and doing mitzvahs?
No, so one way is by contemplating on where you really are.
Okay.
So like, just thinking about it without doing anything.
Yeah, because remember he was saying you're in a state of uninspired numbness. So you're not doing anything. So it's to think, I could actually be doing much more.
I thought this was in comparison to collecting the empty vessels and filling them up.
Right. So
Which
this
is proactive, which is doing something.
Yeah. One of them is doing mitzvahs that are empty.
And you're saying that this contemplation is actually a higher...
It draws down a deeper light.
If it leads to then doing mitzvahs. Or just the contemplation
No. It will lead to a greater inspiration to do mitzvahs. Like the deeper love will come back. Like the Baal Shem Tov as compared to a tzaddik. That the tzaddik is fine as he is. The Baal Shem Tov is not fine as he is. He has to change. So the Baal Shem Tov reaches higher than the tzaddik. Because the tzaddik, as he is stuck in mitzvahs. Whereas the Baal Shem Tov is breaking his mitzvahs and opening to something higher. That's the opening to Hashem.
I don't see so much of a difference between the two because I think either one of them can be explained like the other, in the sense that when someone is doing a mitzvah not because they want to but because they want to connect to Hashem, fine, it's their ratzon, but still they're breaking their physical self.
Yep.
And the same in reverse, that you can say that so they can both be breaking himself. Oh, and you can say that with the second one where you contemplate on how disappointed you are, you're still just tapping into that place of your rotzen, where you want to be, what you want to be. You want to be close to Hashem, so you're tapping into that. You're disappointed that you're not that.
Right. That's correct. That's true. But the difference is that the first way is saying, what do I really want? What do I really want? So, I don't want to do mitzvahs. But is that really true? Of course that's not true. I really do want to do mitzvahs. I'm just not in the mood. But mood is not really me. So, your higher self overrides your lower self, and you do what you want. The second way is where... So in other words, the first way, what are you relying on? What are you falling back on to get moving?
Your rotzen.
Your deeper self. The second way, it's not that. You're breaking yourself. You're saying, what I am is not satisfactory. You're contemplating on your emptiness. On what you're not what you are.
I see the first way is breaking yourself. Just from...
No, it's breaking a lower self to reveal your higher self.
So you're not you breaking yourself and I'm disappointed in me. You're just thinking about I'm part of
But I don't think we're relying on... I don't think that we're relying on ourselves at that point. I think we're relying on the part of our neshama that is so deeply connected
but
to
that is
Hashem.
you.
Hashem also. It's not...
But the difference is that there you're relying on something that you are.
Right.
The second way, you're saying what you're not. Saying what you're not is bittul. I'm not this.
You're not bittul? Or
No,
you're not?
I'm not with the program. I'm empty. Empty means I'm missing something. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Saying what you're not is bittul.
Does that mean to say that then the reaction from number 2, the reaction from being bittul, will actually, like if you do number 1, you'll do the same mitzvahs that you have been doing just with no feeling, maybe, and if you do number 2, there'll be more mitzvahs because you're not just trying to do what you already do.
Yes, because in the end, the first way, what you draw down is your deeper self, a deeper light, but limited to you. Whereas the second way, you've broken yourself, so you're drawing down an unlimited light. So in the end, there will be more mitzvahs. Now, both these methods were advised by the Alter Rebbe in 2 different maamarim, meaning sometimes that's the way, sometimes that's the way.
You can't force yourself to break yourself.
No.
Like you could sit there and contemplate, but you can't
Right.
really. You need to feel, whoa,
To make it dust, to make it like around.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And so sometimes it might be more realistic and more effective to force yourself to do mitzvahs than to go into a contemplation
And is
and a meditation.
then...
Yeah.
Does that then... is that the precursor to the contemplation? Does that come...
Maybe not. Maybe the way you'll bring back your inspiration is by doing. And for sure, I would say that that's going to be the much more common device that you're going to use. When you're uninspired.
Right.
So what should you do?
Do more.
So the first advice would be do more mitzvahs, empty mitzvahs. That's definitely like number 1. But sometimes you could try the other way as well. You could try and stop and say, this very fact is going to be my inspiration, that I'm so empty. The fact that I'm so far, that is what's going to inspire me. It's a very cool thing to do. Remember what we said earlier in the maamar, that's taking darkness and switching it into light. Like the Baal Shem Tov says that if you're in the middle of davening and a non-Jew comes and starts shouting at you, what are you doing? Get out of here. And you're in the middle of davening, right? So it's very hard to concentrate in such a case, right? When you stopped and start davening in a train station. Someone walks by and says, "Could you get out of the way? What are you doing? I want to use the phone." So, what are you supposed to do? So the Baal Shem Tov says, contemplate on what's going on right now. That here I am davening, serving Hashem, and here this person also has a spark of godliness in them. They're created by Hashem as well, and they have been sent down to disturb my davening. Obviously not. Obviously, they're there for me to strengthen my davening. And the disturbance that they're offering is for me to reconnect and regather my thoughts and go deeper into my davening. And that's why this just happened. And isn't it unbelievable, you should think, that Hashem sent his light in the form of this person shouting at me for davening?
So you just daven with more vigas, way more.
And so your davening is much deeper now. And that's it. That's what it's for. So what did you just do? You took that which on the external level looks like an enemy, an interruption, a blockage to your service of Hashem, and you made that the source of your inspiration. That's going to actually make you serve Hashem better. You can do that with anything. It's an unbelievable thing to do. It takes a certain strength and presence of mind to do it. But you can do it with anything. You look at something that's bothering you, that's hurting you, that's stopping you do what you're supposed to do, a temptation or a distraction or whatever it is, and you stop and say, what's really going on here? That is Hashem. Hashem has put that there. Why? So I should dig deeper and overcome it and be even stronger. What a cool thing. What an unbelievable thing. That itself is inspirational. You're being inspired by the thing that's blocking you. I mean, if you develop that mindset, not much is going to be able to get you. And there won't be much that will be able to stop you or bring you down. Not for very long. The problem is we forget that that's what's going on.
What if you don't forget, but you start to question, like, those the things that you fall back on, and those like things that can turn it all around. For instance, what does my soul really want? I know I don't want to do it, but what does my soul really want? What if you start to what if you just you've been told what your soul really, really wants, and all of our souls want the same thing, which is to follow Hashem and be, a servant. And what if that just doesn't sit properly anymore?
Oh, so then, again, that's what we're talking about. Like that's what the original question was. Right. My husband's dead, meaning it doesn't talk to me anymore. I'm not inspired. Right. That's exactly what the original problem is. Right. So the reaction is one of two things. Either say, okay, the fact that I'm not convinced by it, I don't feel like it, I'm ignoring that, and I'm just going to do mitzvahs. Like, it is real, in other words. The uninspiration is real. So you can either do that, or you can switch it around and say, can you believe it? I am uninspired, and I'm not even sure if deep down I really do want to do this. That's how far I've gone. That I'm no longer even sure of what I really want.
That's not so far. Do you know what I mean?
I know, of course. This woman, this soul coming to Elisha, is bothered by the fact that I'm uninspired. If you're not even bothered by it, so then you're not even asking the question. Right. But that might bother you.
That you're not bothered.
Yeah. Which means to go on a deeper level, there's a deeper level that is bothered that you're not bothered.
Can't escape it.
Yeah. So in other words, once you've felt this level, you're never going to get rid of it. It's going to bother you that it doesn't bother you at the very least. And if that doesn't bother you, then that will bother you.
It's like your letter about the guy who's asking if he
can quit Judaism.
Yeah.
And he was asking you that. That's pretty funny.
What was he asking you? Can I quit Judaism?
Yeah, it says that. Don't keep anything. I don't do anything. So can I officially state that I'm not Jewish?
So what did you say? I do remember it.
So why are you asking me?
Right.
Because you're so Jewish that you can't get away from it.
But to be that honest with yourself, that's still kind of like a scary thing, don't you think? Like, I don't know. I just can't get over the whole shattering thing. Like, that you're so, disciplining yourself and, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I said, we're scared of this. We're scared to do that. We're scared to criticize ourselves at all because we think we might fall apart.
Yeah, but to be saying, oh my gosh, what I've been doing until now, or do you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like this is more of a life-changing kind of, I don't know, midlife crisis kind of. I don't know. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It seems like very real and very honest.
Yeah.
And to make such a change, it's not. Yeah. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, and the truth is, most people avoid this for their whole lives. Most of us do avoid doing this ever. Being so raw and honest and looking at ourselves and changing, like it's the last thing we want to do. We want to keep things as they are. It's true, but there's another way of living, and that is like being very real and actually living, being alive, not numbing ourselves and protecting ourselves, but like being vulnerable. It's worth trying.
Okay.
I might try it. It sounds interesting.
Is this maybe, from what I can get from it, is this maybe redoing teshuvah in a way? Like for someone maybe that has done teshuvah in their lifetime already, but obviously you're never finished with it, but then reassessing years later, and maybe when they did teshuvah in the first place, there were sparks of inspiration or whatever, and then it doesn't seem to be there anymore, and they have to
Yeah, it is. It's reinventing yourself, re-inspiring yourself, reinvigorating, and doing teshuvah all over again. That's really what it is.
I feel like, I don't know,
That's
I feel
very
like I have to
intense.
do this like every day.
My gosh.
No, like, I don't feel, I know what you guys are saying, but I feel like maybe it's just a personality.
Sometimes it's doing this on an extremely deep, profound, emotionally upheaval type of thing, where you go through a major. Some people do that every day, and sometimes it's doing this in miniature as well.
Every day.
No, okay, I'm not one to say that I don't even know what this is, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like this whole thing of challenging yourself and being challenged, like, I do identify with that. It's not, I don't know, you guys, like, it sounds like normal to me, because you guys are saying, you know, that it's not, maybe it's just a personality thing, but I think...
Yeah, and some people are more comfortable with it than others.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're going to find. If I shatter my current self, what's going to be left?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Weird.
But then it's the same thing
Yeah.
It's the same thing. What's going to be left? What's going to be left? Your soul. So it's the same thing as the first example, which is what are you always going to fall back on?
No, but it's not, that's different. Because how are you getting to your soul?
Shattering or
if you do it through bittul,
right.
So then it's not the level of your soul that's you reach, it's the level of your soul that's Hashem.
Right.
That's beyond you. Whereas if you do it through asserting yourself, then it's still you. But yeah, it's about, there's a certain bitachon and emunah that you have that, like, if I shatter my current self, there'll be something better left, not worse. Like if I face my issues and demand more of myself and drop my